Divine greetings, entities, energies, lovelies, bodies of light, these seekers and sojourners of truth, the 144, chosen of the chosen few. You know who you are. I greet you in the love that lights the truth from my heart to yours. I am Celestial Earth, in this divine energy essence of it all, as usual, reporting to you live from 5D, none other than 5D. It is the place to be. Welcome, welcome. If you're coming in and you're just walking around, get a good look, get a good feel. If you're seeing, feeling, sensing all that is happening in this arena, in this 5D arena, right? You may be feeling it just wrapping around your auric field. Like, feel that love frequency, soak it up, but welcome in and welcome in to the 5D experience. As usual, I bring you the news to infuse, if you so choose to infuse on this light grid activation, remembering that if you choose not to, it's free will, but be prepared to be fried on the grid, right? Because things are kicking up and you're going to feel it when you clashing with the light, right? So with that, let's get right in. Happy 1616 portal. We portaling through, y'all. This is mainly for the true timeline people, because you might be saying 1616, what is she talking about? Already doing the math. Don't worry, get your calendars ready. I'm gonna explain it to you. Those of you who got your 5D calendars, get your 5D calendar and I'm gonna point it out to you, right? Right before coming on, I saw 936 and it was like, oh, there go the numbers, the 936, the 369, and whatever order it comes in, there's a 369 portal, the main, which are like the main dimensional portal or gates as I see them, as I've been talking about, right? This is why the 369 is so powerful. So I'm going to explain that as I go in, because this double portaling, this is a double portal, right? This portal celebration that I'm talking about, there is a double portal, not just for the true timeline, but the main timeline. We are all portaling through. And so the main collective, it has to do with the 9 and the 6. So I'm going to get back into that, right? But before I go any further, if you've made it this far, please remember to like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. If you are not sure what to say, just go ahead and leave some emojis. I'm still catching up to comments from when I left. I believe there's one I got to go way back to. So thank you for bearing with me. Those of you who are still sharing your comments, I appreciate it. And remember, when you do, it helps the algorithms get out to those who are in remote places that are still waiting for their soul tribe, right? Some of you that found this channel is because those of us who had been liking, subscribing, who had been commenting and pushing the algorithm so that it can get to you. So let's continue to pay it forward and pass that on to those who are looking, you know, for these answers, looking for their fellow starseeds or their fellow soul tribe, and are in remote places, right? So with that, also remembering, I'm doing some little housekeeping before I get in. Remembering there are 3 people that I'm still waiting on their information to send their calendars, and that's Rhonda Calvin, I Am, and Stacy Holder. Please remember to send in your information. I'm going to probably ask for it every video until I hear from you. I got 1 person, but I need to hear from the other 3, unless you want me to just keep it as a donation, which thank you for donating to the cause and the channel. Either way works fine for me, or you want me to donate the calendar to somebody else, well, however it goes, right? And remember to get your 5D calendar. We still have them if you haven't gotten them, especially as I'm going to utilize it, you know, with this 1616 portal. You may want to have it handy, so if I bring up something you like, oh, got it, we right here, right? You'll be able to mark what you need to mark on there as I give you portals, because this one is not on the calendar. You have to go to the calendar and mark it. As I mentioned, I don't have all the portals on there. There's going to be more. As they come up, I will let you know, and you can go ahead and write it in, right? Use your good penmanship and write it in. I have mainly the main portals that came up. So with that said, let's jump right back in, because we're talking about a double portaling for both timelines that are splitting, both of the main collective, which is splitting. So we got timelines within timelines, right? And in explaining that, the reason why I want to explain it is so that we understand it's not just these two timelines. There's multiple timelines as we live in this multiverse. There's a timeline of you, your individual soul's timeline, and there is the timeline of your intimate. And let me just say this: in your individual timeline, it is how you're pushing your dimensional timelines within your soul. There's multiple dimensions within you as well. And so you're pushing, the more you elevate and evolve in your soul's ascension, you push it. Matter of fact, that's how you ascend. Your soul ascension is defined by how you push the timelines within your, dimensional soul self. And it has to do with also your past lives, which are infused in this life. So there's the timeline of this lifetime, and there's a timeline of your past lifetimes, and the past lives are also somehow infused in this timeline, things that you have not worked through, your karmic imprint, so to speak, that have not been worked through, is also infused in this timeline until you find the pattern, work on it, and remove that thread, pull that thread out, which pushes you in your timeline. You push to the next level of your dimensional soul self, right? So that's your individual timeline. Then you have the collective timeline of your, I want to say, intimate, immediate collective, those who you are immediately or intimately around on a regular basis, which for us, for most people like us, will be our soul tribe family, our starseed family, whatever you call them, your galactic family. And I mean like the ones here that are living in the flesh, galactically speaking, right? Not the intergalactic between the ones that are out there and around us, but those in the flesh, pretty much, in an intimate setting with you. For those who are not really at this level yet, it may be your intimate family and friends, right? That's your intimate collective. You have a timeline carved out as well. And then there is the bigger collective from that, right? So for example, within 5D, it's not just, oh, everybody in 5D is in this timeline. You have different timelines within 5D, just like you have different timelines within 3D and even 4D. It all depends on where you are individually and how you're grouped collectively, right? So think of it kind of like that. I say all that so we don't think it's just two timelines, but I'm mainly talking about the two timelines of either 3D and 5D, right? You're either in the old paradigm or you're in the new paradigm. You're either in the true timeline, or if you're in the old paradigms, you're either in ideal timeline or real timeline. Those two belong to the old paradigm in 3D, right? The real timeline is a split, though. Some people in real time reality may be in 3D, may be in 5D. If they're in 3D, they're in the higher echelons. I don't know why that word came to me. They're in the higher echelons of 3D. If the real-time people are in 5D, they're in the lower echelons of 5D, if that makes sense, right? In the higher parts of 5D, you would be in the true timeline, okay? In the even lower parts of 3D, you would be in the ideal timeline. That's real low vibrational, right? Them people ain't trying to be real or true, right? They're just enjoying, and most of those are the ones who are holding down the shadows of the 3D paradigm, right? So the more you remove those shadows, I call it debris, basically. If you move that soul debris, those shadows, then you are elevating, evolving, and entering into the next timeline. So timeline within timelines. However, this one that I'm talking about, get your calendar, it's a 1616 portal that we are experiencing, remembering that as we're portaling, remember it's about pre-portaling work. So even though I'm explaining to you what the portal theme is and what it may be about and how it can boost you through it, it'll help you, and it's an energetic hotspot to help, boost us. That's how I look at it, a boost or a little push, you know, inspiration, motivation, however you want to look at it. It helps to add to what we're already moving in. So as I say, it's more about the pre-portaling work. What's most important and how you portal through is your pre-portaling work in conjunction with how you accept things, right? So what you're willing and ready to do and let go of and detach from and all of that, that's the pre-portaling work, the shadow work that I was talking about, the soul exfoliating and soul excavating work. That's the pre-portaling work. That determines how you're portaling through in conjunction with your acceptance of what is to come, right? Which I'm going to explain as I go in now. So that explains the timelines within timelines, as well as reminding us about the portaling through. So let me get right into sharing the download of information I got with that. So this is a 1616 portal for True Timeline Collective, which reduces to a 7/7 portal theme that operates as manifestations or a return of completion, which is what 7 really represents: completion, the return of completion, which is a manifestation, or the miracle, which is a perfect outworking of the law. When you return to completion, then you have pretty much obeyed the creative process, which gives you your return, manifestation. Ta-da! So why it's a 7 is because, if you haven't already guessed it, those 6 and the 1 is a 7. So 1616 is having a 7/7 theme. Okay, so mark it in your calendars. That means, and why I say 16 is because 16 is the year that we're in. For those of you who have the calendar, because we've been robbed of our 8 years as a Gregorian calendar, thrust everybody forward, fast forward 8 years ahead to throw you off so you would not be aware when we are in the awakening, which was 2020, which was really 2012 according to the Mayan calendar, new world, right? So yeah, we've been thrusted ahead. So as a part of this return to who we are, return to Kemet type calendar, 5D, it is 2016. So on the 16th day of the year 16, that's the 1616. That's how we got the 16. So if you look on the calendar, look at Offset. Go to Offset, which is the 6th month of the calendar, the first month being Asar, which is Aries, and the 6th month being Offset, which is Virgo. And we're in the 16th day, right? Which means we may be at about 16 degrees of Virgo, because every degree is a day, in case you didn't know that. Every degree, as the degree moves, it's about a day, right? Solarly speaking, according to the sunlight, the sun codes. So 16 is the day of that month in the year 16. Hence, we got our 1616. So this is a theme of manifestation because of that 7/7 is the theme. And we have it all through the year, right? And actually, I just noticed it. Like I said, there's some things I won't notice till as I'm going along. So that's why it's not there. So you can write it in for the rest of your calendar on the 16th day of our 16th year is a 1616 portal, right? In this energetic hotspot, we are accessing the high boost energy light codes that are inspiring us to create and manifest, right? So that's the boost that we're getting. You may feel a certain, I need to get this done. I need to create this. I need to do, you may feel a little pull on that, right? As this month continues to unveil the revelations we have been getting, and we are in a preparation mode of clearing out what we don't need, right? And therefore moving in a divine order that fosters our creative activity and motivates us to manifest. So all that's saying is that as we're in this season, we're in this Virgo season, and it is a lot of unveiling from what we have been revealed, all the revelations that have been coming and hitting us, especially last month. It's more, we're in this state is because of the unveiling, we now see even more clearly than before. And it's like, oh, I no longer need this. So now you're inspired even to move some things out the way. You're a little bit more motivated to be like, let me move this out the way. And a lot of people don't realize this, but when you actually move things out the way, that's when you open up for something else. When you move and you remove these old paradigms, old concepts, old thoughts, old friends, old jobs, old everything, when we remove that out the way, suddenly it's like having this creative activity comes to life, because now we have space to create. Now we move things. It's like, oh, I don't need that. And then so even in your mind, you move things out of your mind. It's like, oh, all of a sudden I see this now. Now you see something else. Your mind is in creative activity mode, and then you begin to manifest. So you're being pulled more into that, right? So those of us, those who are in true time reality, right, are feeling called to tap in and create, like what I was just saying. Something is on the horizon and opening up for you if you choose to infuse. So that goes back to what I was saying. It's not just what you do pre-portaling, but it's also what do you accept. Because if you have a block, even though you move things out the way and you're doing pre-portaling work really well, if you have a block, as in there's something on the horizon, but you know what, because I don't see how it can happen, and I don't see this, and we don't see the hows and the whys, right? Which is a thing about Virgo. Virgo could be very like, it wants the details, kind of, you know, like give me the details. It's very meticulous, right? So that's like a shadow of Virgo. So we got to make sure that we're aware of that. We don't need to know. We need to have the faith, right? So be able to, faith is when you can see beyond the horizon. That's true acceptance. So not only do we need to do pre-portal work, but we need to have true acceptance, which is also on the love frequency, right? It's love based. It's one of the higher frequencies to have, is acceptance. Whether you understand it or not, do you accept? It's like the universe is asking you that. Do you accept? Do you accept this gift that I'm giving you? I have something coming up on the horizon. You don't know how it's going to happen. You don't need to know, but do you accept? So your level of acceptance, as well as how much you have cleared out, and how much you have cleared out determines how much you're going to be willing to accept. So you do the math. You figure it out. Which one do you think you should be doing first? I don't know about everybody else, but I like to clear stuff out first. If you think about it, you can't truly accept it all if you're not moving some junk out of the way, right? So clean your junk mail. I should talk like I really got to clear out my Google, my email, like clean out that junk mail. That's message to me. Message, got it. Clean out your junk mail, right? However that shows up for you, whether I'm talking literally like my email, or whether I'm talking just old concepts, old traditions. That's junk. You don't need it no more. Not only does it not serve you right now, but it has not been serving your ancestors as you thought it had. They thought it had. They were coping and they thought it had, and this was a tradition that they passed down to cope with things. It doesn't mean that that was the right thing to do. So it's for us to really look and say, you know what, this does not serve me, and I don't care, you know, which ancestor passed it down. Believe me, your ancestors will be applauding on the other side when you find out that that is no longer needed and you let it go, because it helps free them as well, right? It's a whole nother story. So let me get into the 9. So that's with the whole 1616 being a 7/7 manifestation theme. So, you know, get your juice, get your energetic hotspot, and get what you can get out of it. And if you feel that creation, that creative activity pulling on you, be inspired, be motivated, move something out the way, so you even open up your capacity of inspiration and motivation that much more, and tap right in. I'm hearing like step right up, tap right in, right? And so with the next portal I'm speaking of, and this is for the, I want to say the main collective, most people who are still in that older paradigm. This month is a 9 month, right? It's 9 as a spiritual completion, right, for the main collective. And also on their day, this is a day of 6, their 6th day as a receptive completion for the main collective as well, right? So this is something where they are, their 9, their month, their day the day itself is a receptive completion, asking, it's basically highlighting observing and receiving, being receptive, that receptivity within the spiritual completion. So the whole month has a theme of like this spiritual completion, right? And I'm gonna explain that a little bit more. What I want to add before I go into that is that also that for the True Time Collective, let me say this too, it's like a double for us. It's a double timeline in the sense that there's our 1616 timeline, and then there's the there's our 1616 portal, and then there is the 9/6 portal for, you know, the main collective who's in their 9th month and the 6th day. We are able to benefit from both, right? Because there's our timeline and then there's theirs, right? And we can reach in. It operates like a bridge that we can bridge in. We can go in, bridge the gap, and reach in and help some of those who are obviously in a more receptive mode too, if they're really in tune with this day, to expand their consciousness and see more of the 5D realm, help them to even push their timelines that much more. This is an opportunity for us to do that, but not only just bridge them, but to help us more in what we're doing. So we get to benefit, you know, doubly off of what it means for us and what it means for them as well, right? And I wanted to highlight that okay, so why I'm highlighting that, not only is it a double for us in that way, but also the 9 and 6, that a part of that applies to us too, but for different reasons, right? For them, it's their 9th month, 6th day. For us, it is the 6th month and the 9th year, right? 9 year and 6 months. So our month is within our same way. We're in a receptive mode for the month, though, where theirs is for the day. For the month, we're in this kind of receptive mode, receptive portal. So it's more like a vortex for us for the entire month within this year that is the 9, the spiritual completion. We're in an entire year of just spiritual completion, and I'm gonna go more into the explanation of the completion. So that's the doubling for us. It's like a double within a double for the true timeline people, right? So we benefit from that. With that said, so this month and day through the main collective is operating as a, I want to say, 2 times of a major portal gateway with the 9 and the 6, and paralleled with the true timeline, right? So let me make sure I'm saying this right. So this month and day through the main collective is operating as a double portal for us. Okay, that's what I meant to say. I'm like, they're not double portaling. It's more like us, right? So it's operating as a double portal day gateway for us with the 9 and the 6 that I just mentioned, which is for the main collective, and paralleled with the true timeline. This is a day of double portals for both the timelines. Okay, well, both the timelines get it. Tell me something. So, and paralleled with, it's a double for them. Okay, if they can cross that bridge as well, if in their receptive mode they can reach in, or we can reach in, either way it operates for both timelines, right? The timeline for the main collective is operating as an energetic hotspot as a day of receptive completion within a month of spiritual completion. Okay, so this is the breakdown that I was speaking about. I guess I went ahead of myself. So the timeline for the, let me say that again, the timeline for the main collective is operating as an energetic hotspot as a day of receptive completion, as I said earlier, within a month of spiritual completion, giving an opportunity to observe and receive while existing in what spirit is showing, with a sense of knowing there is a completion of something. So it's like we have this sense where, like, that's it, it's over, this is no more. There's a lot of people I've been hearing saying that whatever it is for you, there's something where you have this sense of completion where you're just like, whether you're just like, I'm over it, or maybe even you could be upset and be like, you know what, I'm just over this, and I really am over it. You mean it with every fiber of your being. Or for some people it may just be in a very more peaceful way. You know what, I just don't think I need this no more. I'm just beyond this, right? So there's this sense of completion that is in the air. And we're seeing a double completion. Remember, the 6 is receptive completion, allows us to be complete in our receptivity. And the 9 is a spiritual completion. So this is why I said it's that day of receptivity, but it's while existing in the month, and in the entire month, it's spirit showing whatever it's showing. Remember, things are being unveiled from the revelation. So spirit is showing with a sense of knowing that there is a completion. This is all over with. It's done, right? With this portal, they are being drawn in to see what this is, whatever it is. Some of you may already know what it is. Some of you may just sense this, but you don't quite know what it is. So through this portal, you're kind of being drawn in to kind of seeing it a bit more, right? All depending, again, on how open your receptivity is and your acceptance, right? So drawn in to see what it is. And those in the true timeline, we are able to cross that bridge, as I said earlier, cross the bridge and reach in and help, right? As well as fine-tune some things for our soul self also. So this is what I was saying earlier. We can reach in, we can help. It's a nice way to bridge the gap for those who are in between paradigms, right? It's a nice way for us to be able to reach them. You know how some of us be like, they just don't get it. I can't. Yeah, this is one of them times where during these energetic hotspots, we can utilize that time to reach out and reach in, especially for this one particularly because this day, this day 6 being receptive completion, so they're a little bit more open. They're a little bit more receptive. They're a little bit more in observing and witnessing mode. So even if they don't really quite agree, it's like they're more like, and they're observing. They're taking in a little bit more. So this day particularly, it's an opportune day, right, to do that. Remember, if you see it tomorrow, that's fine as well. The potency is really on today, but you will feel I want to say the vibrations or the reverberations, if that's a word, from the day before and the day after. So you still have some time. Take that time to reach into those, especially to those who you know are already a little milkshaky. You know, they on the fence, and you're like, oh, they might be in a more receptive mode today. Let me put something to them. You know, not imposing, not forcing, just kind of utilize that time to reach in a little bit more. Maybe have that conversation that maybe would have been a little bit more difficult to have in regards to understanding these paradigms and what's happening, right? What else? So this is a time for us to fine-tune some things. It is harder, note this, it is harder for the main collective to see and experience our timeline as they are still struggling with theirs. So know that it is a little bit harder for them. It's easier for us. We can experience both of the portals. We can experience our 1616 portal. We can experience our 9/6 portal, being the 9th year and the 6th month. And we can also experience their portal of the 9th month and the 6th day, right? These are main. The only reason why I'm saying portal, because these 3, 6, and 9 are main portaling days. Keep that in mind. They are main portaling dimensions, right? So that's why. This is why, but know that they're struggling through their own. So bear that in mind in case you're wondering what you may have a question. Well, can they benefit from ours and from our portal? And the thing is, they can't really see and experience our portal unless they're experiencing and seeing our timeline in some way, shape, or form, even in a minor way. They have to be opening themselves up. They have to be kind of expanding into that a little bit more in order to experience, in order to benefit and feel the portals in that way. It's like the portals, the themes of the portals don't really apply to them, least unless they have applied themselves, right, to the energies. It kind of works like that. It's wherever you put yourself, that's how the energies can apply itself to you. Where you are applicable, right? Where you apply yourself is where, let me say it this way, where you apply yourself in practical application of your soul work. Therefore, this is how when you say yes to the universe says yes to you. By you applying yourself through practical application, you're saying yes to the universe. And the universe in turn says yes to you, right? And therefore, it becomes applicable, right? The energies that are there, the themes that are there for that particular portal can become applicable. Now, the crossing the bridge theme, remember, by us doing this is why I say it's a bridge. By us doing it, it's like we're holding the bridge for them to cross over. Let me say it that way. It's not so much you got to go in and force somebody to cross the bridge or try to make them see the bridge. The thing is, by us, more of us tapping into this true timeline, we're experiencing the portals. Everything is experience, and just because of how we're experiencing it, it's almost like that is how we're energetically holding the bridge, and it's up for them to see it. So yes, you can have conversations. It's a better advantage to have these conversations, but that is not the goal. The goal is for us to continue. Everything is about soul self, and the better you do your soul work individually and collectively, it helps stretches, it helps to expand this for others, right? So just by us doing it, we hold the bridge, and it is up to them, depending on how they're working it, that they will see the bridge, and not only see the bridge but be willing to cross the bridge, right? Because some may see the bridge, but they may be like, I'm not ready for that. They're not really willing to cross the bridge, right? So the more that they hit, the more that these hot spots, these energetic hot spots hit, eventually they will push themselves a little bit more, all depending on them. And again, it depends on the way you're doing your soul work, ultimately, right? So with that said, this is why it is beneficial to catch these energetic hotspots and portal through if you can, right? It's really important. If you catch them, it's like, ooh, portal. It's really important to catch them and portal through. The more you portal through, the more you're opening up, the more you're expanding, the more you're getting that energetic boost through that portal's theme, and that energy becomes applicable to you more and more, right? It is all of this is to take advantage for the advancement of the soul's ascension. That's AAA. AAA. Yeah, people go to the AA. This AAA is a triple A. Take advantage of the advancement for the soul's ascension. Advantage, advancement, ascension. Take advantage, get advanced, and ascend. Right? And it is always dependent upon the level of readiness and willingness of the soul in their pre-portaling work. Please remember that. It's important. They want us to understand that. We must understand that, because it's not a magic trick. It's not a magic ride. It's not a magic stick. It's not jump on the broom and, like witches and, oh, let's go. Let's all be a part of this. It's not, rainbows and unicorn farts. All is light. Oh, let's portal. Let's get this magic juice. It's what you put in it. It's going to be as magical and as miraculous as you put in the work, tapping into the principalities, and being a part of the perfect outworking of the law. That's your miracle. And well said, as I'm closing this out, well said in understanding the 1616, which is the 7-7, the manifestation. Remember, the manifestation is dependent upon you, on your pre-portaling work, on your return to completion. It's your soul's return based on what you put in through the creative activity, by allowing yourself to be receptive, right? So by being in the receptive space, which is why I like this 9-6 day, the day being a 6, be in your receptivity, and within that receptivity you will see what spirit is showing you through the spirit completion, right? And then you will then see the creative activity. You will be more motivated in the creative activity, in the creative process, and playing your part correctly as such. And in doing that, you work the principles, the laws, and as a perfect outworking of the law, you get your receipt, What is the receipt? Your return to completion. What is that? Your manifestation. You manifest according to your soul's receipt, according to your spiritual return. Faithfully, we get that, right? And so, lastly, is to note that the portals help push the timelines if you choose to infuse with the light. The portals help push the timelines if you choose to infuse with the light. So again, what you do is how you go through. Say that again. What you do is how you go through. Woo, woo. Remember this. Remember to please mark on your calendars the 1616 day for the rest of the year. Those of you who have your calendars, go ahead and mark it down. 1616 on the 16th day of each month. And I mean the 5D calendar day, not the little numbers at the bottom. The little numbers at the bottom is the Gregorian calendar. Okay, we're talking the main numbers. Write down on the 16th day for the entire year, which is 2016, 1616 portal. 77 underneath it if you want to remind yourself. The theme is manifestation. All right, so that's the tidbit I have on. There's more. I got so much more, y'all. There's something. I don't want to put it all in this one. I'm going to do another video speaking about the this 369 also is showing up in another way as through the 12, you know, as a cyclical completion. But I'm going to leave that there. I'm going to say to be continued on that part of it. But that's what I have for this. I wanted to focus on this 1616 portal. So enjoy the rest of your 1616 portal day, night, and even the next day. You still are in the energies of that portal. So enjoy that. And that's what I have on the double portaling that we're doing on the timelines within timelines, right? In our soul's design as we so incline. So with that said, again, let me remind you before I head out, if you haven't already done so, please remember, like, subscribe, share, comment if you dare. Press that bell, as they say. I don't really know what the bell do, but go ahead and press that bell. Anything that you could press to help the algorithms, to help it get to where it needs to get to. Let's touch, reach out and touch. Like I'm hearing the song, reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can. So let's make this 5D a better place. Let's reach out and touch those who are in the remote places, who want to be touched, right? They looking for the crew. They looking for the 5D crew. And with that, again, reminding you, 5D calendars at a 5D corner near you. It's in the description, or you can see it in a previous one if you don't see it here. And with that said, I love you all. Oh, I want to apologize for the last. I know some of y'all tell me no apologies necessary. Thank you. And I appreciate your love. I appreciate you just appreciating the truth, even if it shows up funny. But for those who may have been annoyed by it, I do apologize for the last recorded video that went dark for the rest of it, the rest of the recording. You know, I got to get another device. You know, my apologies, y'all. For those who don't need no apologies, thank you. Ashe, ashe. Dua, dua to you all. Love you all, as you're all positive vibrations in my heart. And with that, each one, reach one, teach one. If you don't know where to start, start in your big, beautiful heart. Shine your light from the inside out and be the candle that lights the next one and the next one and the next one. Peace, love, and light.